In 2025, with the cybersecurity landscape changing on a daily basis thanks to the AI boom, if you want to be a great cybersecurity leader, you must be working on the latest strategies to guarantee success for yourself, your team, and the programs you're building. So what better way to be updated on being a cybersecurity leader than to learn from 900 cybersecurity leaders who have done the same and thrived in this new era. In this video, I'll cover 3 important lessons that I've learned from the latest version of Voice of Security 2025 white paper from AWS and TICE on how to thrive as a leader and lead your team to success. Hi, in case you're new to the channel, my name is Ashish and I've been a cybersecurity leader for over 15 years, working on companies ranging from 1,000 employees to all the way up to 20,000 employees. And I've had my fair share of working with challenges required to run a successful cybersecurity team. Over 900 cybersecurity leaders in this white paper were talking about how they overcame challenges like dealing with rising workload, whether I should use AI and where should I fit AI, what are the dozens of softwares that I'm using, should I be even using all of them, or what my workflow would be, should I be upskilling my team, or what am I prioritizing on? They were able to overcome these challenges and have a thriving team. So if you want to check out the whole white paper, I'll drop a link in the description, so definitely give it a read. Now let's dive into the video. First topic, strategy over headcount. Hiring more people isn't always the answer. It was also interesting to see that surveys showed that smaller teams were outperforming the big ones by a huge margin. According to the survey, they did 3 of these things. First one, automate before hiring. Now we understand that the number of threats are growing now with new technologies like AI coming up, but existing security vulnerabilities are still exposed. That doesn't mean you need to hire more people to tackle with the newer threats coming in against your organization. What about making most of the current team that you have by automating the tools you may already be using in your environment? As per the survey, 37% of leaders prioritized automation to reduce manual work and streamline compliance. But in spite of the endless amount of security vulnerabilities and alerts being thrown at you, you still need to figure out a way to tackle these, right? That brings me to number 2, having a clear prioritization. Now, the best teams don't chase security alerts. They focus on actually reducing the risk. They drive forward with the goal of reducing false positive to lower the volume of security alerts instead of running around like headless cybersecurity chickens without knowing which alert to fix and which to ignore. Think about it this way. If your security team is bogged down by false positives being thrown by, I don't know, a cloud WAF by any chance, that would be a flood of false positives. Your team members have to wait hours cleaning up what is a ghost vulnerability that they can ignore, which is because it's false positive, or focus their energy on real-time threats and actual vulnerabilities that are applicable for the environment you're hosting. This also brings me to number 3, avoiding tool sprawl. Did you know that an average number of SaaS applications, even in a small company these days, is on an average of 42? Those are just regular tools. Now, if you keep an eye out on different applications, languages, softwares, workspaces, with new application solutions coming to market on a daily basis and all of them as SaaS services, the likelihood the number is much higher. Nowadays, a lot of vendors offer 3-in-1 solution. Like the application security vendors have started offering cloud security products. Cloud security products have started offering application security products. Network security people have started offering cloud products. Now, this is a great way to bring a lot of these different personas of your application security people, cloud security people, security operations people under the one wing. By saving them time from switching dashboards for one vulnerability, this would allow them to work efficiently instead of just bouncing between tools to figure out, is this alert a false positive or is this something that is spread across the entire organization? Now, I personally had the pleasure of working with security teams in global organizations where we were as small as 4 people, all the way up to 400 plus people in cybersecurity. Now, instead of finding more people, we just made each other worth more. Yes, we did that by making smart decisions on the right tool that we should have in our stack. The automation that I spoke about earlier, we did automation in the right places. For example, a WAF, which definitely is a drown on false positive, allowed us to focus on vulnerabilities that were true vulnerabilities and needed the attention right then and there. This also meant all the years that I spent with them, we were able to walk away without any security breaches. By the way, later in this video, I'll also talk about how security companies are using AI and automation. I'll cover some personal strategies, so stick around for that as well. Change how you measure success. Traditional security metrics might be hurting your team. Number 1 out of the 3 things I learned here, change your success metric. According to the survey, 35% of security success were being measured by number of alerts handled. Sounds like a good metric, but it could really hurt the productivity of your entire team. Things like measuring incident handled, incentive of speed and response, and volume of actual security outcomes basically do a good job of tracking how much work is done, but not how effective that work is. The survey showed focusing on recurring incidents, reducing false positives, and surprisingly tracking knowledge sharing as the best KPI to track. Now, a few personal examples where this helped me really well was when we were trying to develop a DevSecOps program in an organization. Having lunch and learn sessions allowed us to identify developers who probably required some extra learning on how to do security. We were able to identify them, bring them onto Security Champions program, and be able to scale security across the development team without adding new team members in our own security team. Bonus point, the security culture of the organization was raised up a level, which also meant that security teams that I was working with, they were able to focus their attention on the right kind of incidents, reducing false positive, and being able to quickly collaborate and work with developers in business units to overall reduce the number of alerts that were being produced in the first place. All of this aside, the survey also showed that being collaborative across the board meant that other stakeholders were in line with what you were bringing to the table, increasing the support for security projects, probably funding as well, which also meant job satisfaction was overall quite high as per the survey. Big takeaway of all of this is that as a security leader, you should focus on impact rather than measuring how much work your team is doing. Measuring impact actually improves your overall long-term resilience of the organization instead of just the amount of activity that was performed by security teams. I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to Tynes, who provided me with the latest copy of the Voice of Security white paper for sponsoring this video. Now, if you want the full information with the analytics and insights and everything, I'll leave a link in the description with the full white paper. You can click on the link and read it for free. Now back to the video. Lesson number 3, AI and automation are non-negotiable. Security teams that are embracing AI are winning. We know that security teams that are embracing AI are winning already, and that's kind of obvious. But what is not obvious is that they are using AI to win this game as well. Now, the survey told me a couple of things. Mature automation programs have deep organization impacts. As per the survey, 37% of the teams were able to reduce their manual tasks, separating out the false positive from the true positive in the minds of thousands of security alerts that they get from their security tools. And 22% of them were using AI to break down the silos that exist in their organization by automating recurring tasks between departments to reduce the bottlenecks. Now, personally, the two teams in our organization that started using them were the application security team as well as the security operations or offensive team. The way we approached this was, I'm sure you all have a Slack or a Teams where you get heaps of threat intel from all these different sources on the internet, and you have to sieve through them to figure out which one is relevant for you. We were able to use an open source tool called Fabric to see through the alerts for what are the alerts that are relevant for our organization and filter out the ones that we don't even care about. Now, once a threat was identified as potential in our organization or the code that we were using, we were able to use AI like Claude or OpenAI to quickly develop a detection that we could implement along with the code in our organization. Now, this is great because the moment you identify that a threat does exist in your organization, you want to be able to reach out to the developer or the builder who has the problem in their particular code to tell them, hi, you have a problem, you should probably fix this. The best part is you can even level up even further. You could ask the AI to give yourself a sample code or a quote-unquote payload to show the developer, hey, by the way, if you run this against this fake endpoint, you'll see what I mean if you don't fix this. Because this is on the internet, I would say this is a high priority. Like things like that, and putting in this great summary, we were able to identify new threats being created, add detections, and where it made sense, reach out to developers with a piece of code that helps them identify what they should be solving and why it's important to solve, and not spend hours trying to figure out what kind of code makes more sense. But if AI is so powerful, why aren't all these teams using it? 99% of security leadership actually are using AI as per the survey, but it does coexist with the concerns they have around the AI capabilities. 33% were unsure of the compliance standards, and another 27% were concerned about the hallucination an AI may get. Now, don't get me wrong, we still have these challenges, so a human is still required to intervene, but that's just now. In a couple of years, this would not even be a thing. My advice to you, if the organizations that I was working with were able to use AI to increase productivity of their security teams, I think it's worth investing the time in it, especially if you can save hours of creating reports, summarizing false positives versus true positives, coming up with a code, and the list goes on. In fact, if you have a complex security problem that you want to explain to your executive as if they were 5, you see what I did there? If you use AI, you know what I'm talking about. So to summarize, security is changing fast, and if you want to be on top of your game, leaders are focusing on efficiency rather than hiring more people, focusing on the right success metrics that actually measure impact instead of the amount of work done, and then using AI and automation to streamline their workflows to increase overall productivity of their security teams for 2025 and beyond. If you want to learn more about the right way to do AI and cloud security in your organization, check out this video on the screen or subscribe to Cloud Security newsletter. And if you want the whole white paper, I would leave a link in the comment section or the description for you to download that for free. Now let me know in the comments what's your biggest takeaway from the video, or did I miss something that has made your cybersecurity team successful? I read each comment, so I'll look forward to seeing you in the comment section. I'll see you next one. Peace.